In the city of Ephesus in 300 BC, there lived a prosperous merchant named Callisthenes. While sailing from Carthage to Corinth, his ship was caught in a violent storm and dashed against the rocks. Not only did the sea claim all of his precious cargo, but Callisthenes himself barely escaped with his life. Because of that single event, one completely beyond his or anyone's control, this once wealthy man found himself destitute, stranded in a foreign land with nothing but the tattered clothes on his back. Imagine you were Callisthenes. How would you react to seeing your entire life's work vanish into the depths of the sea? Would you be furious, devastated? Would you curse the gods for your misfortune? For most, these emotions would be natural responses, but not for Callisthenes, the father of Stoicism. One small shift in perspective can last an eternity. A single reframing of your mindset can set off a chain reaction of greater and more profound changes. The core of Stoicism lies in accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what we can. After reading the works of Socrates and other great philosophers, Callisthenes developed and taught Stoicism. According to Callisthenes, we have little control over what happens to us, but we have absolute control over how we respond. Instead of lamenting his misfortune, he focused on maintaining his composure, remaining calm and neutral in the face of hardship. Today, Stoics are often seen as people who cannot be broken, individuals who do not succumb to fits of rage or overwhelming anxiety. But the essence of Stoicism is far deeper than that. Stoicism is not just about appearing unemotional. It is a framework for understanding the world and our place in it. This way of life has endured for centuries, remaining as relevant today as it was in the ancient world. Stoic philosophy helps us process negative experiences, transforming them into valuable lessons that shape our understanding of the world. Perspective is everything, and everyone has different experiences that inform their outlook. Since Stoics gathered to discuss and teach philosophy in public spaces, their ideas became widely known. They believed that Stoic principles could benefit all people, regardless of status, and saw no reason to hide this knowledge behind palace walls or exclusive institutions. As a result, Stoicism was embraced by people from all walks of life, from slaves to emperors. Some of the most notable Stoics include Epictetus, who was once a slave, Seneca, a revered statesman, and Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful rulers in history. The early Stoics lived by their principles, rejecting all forms of inequality. They even coined the term cosmopolitan, meaning citizen of the world. Today, we associate this word with diverse cities like New York, Toronto, and London, but the Stoics originally used it to promote unity and togetherness. At the time of Stoicism's foundation, women were often excluded from philosophical pursuits, but the Stoics disagreed. Musonius Rufus, the teacher of Epictetus, once stated, "It is not men alone who possess eagerness and a natural inclination toward virtue, but women also." Even when it was unpopular, Stoics welcomed women into their philosophical circles. Why do so many people adopt Stoicism as a way of life? In a world full of uncertainties, our emotions can cloud our judgment. In reality, we do not become sad simply because bad things happen. We become sad when bad things happen unexpectedly. Rain is essential for life, yet when caught in a storm without an umbrella, we see it as an inconvenience. We don't cry over rain because we expect it. Likewise, Stoicism teaches us to expect hardship and prepare ourselves for it. One Stoic practice is voluntary discomfort, a method designed to foster gratitude and resilience. Sleeping on the floor, taking cold showers, or eating simple meals for days at a time can teach us that no matter how difficult life gets, we can endure. This exercise strengthens our minds, preparing us for future adversities. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with advertisements that tell us happiness comes from acquiring more money, more possessions, more status. Stoicism reminds us that we should not attach our happiness to external things. If we do, we place our well-being in the hands of forces beyond our control, setting ourselves up for disappointment. Cars break down, homes are destroyed by natural disasters, and relationships fall apart. True contentment comes from within. Even the free things in life have a cost, the cost of space, both physical and mental. As Seneca wrote, "Learning to live with less will create space in your life for what truly matters." Instead of measuring success by wealth or status, we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and character. This is the foundation of the Stoic concept, known as the dichotomy of control, the idea that we must separate what we can control from what we cannot. As Epictetus said, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. When we judge ourselves based on effort rather than outcomes, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Living with less means freeing ourselves from self-imposed burdens. Take the example of an employee who works tirelessly for a promotion. He presents his performance report to his boss only to be denied. If he equates his worth with external validation, he will feel crushed. But if he values his efforts instead, he can remain content, knowing that his hard work was not in vain, even if the reward is delayed. Stoicism teaches that we should not base our happiness on external rewards, but on the virtue of our actions. The four main virtues of Stoicism, wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, guide this way of life. Wisdom helps us distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Courage means persevering despite adversity. Temperance reminds us to practice moderation, and justice, the most important virtue, compels us to act for the good of all. A powerful example of Stoic resilience is Nelson Mandela. During his 27 years in prison, he studied the works of Marcus Aurelius and embraced Stoic principles. When released, he did not seek revenge against those who oppressed him. Instead, he urged unity, emphasizing that the past was beyond control, but the future was in their hands. This is the way of the Stoic. Modern psychology has adopted Stoic principles in therapies like rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and logotherapy. REBT helps individuals challenge irrational beliefs, replacing them with healthier perspectives. Logotherapy, inspired by Viktor Frankl's experiences in concentration camps, teaches that we find meaning even in suffering by choosing how we respond to adversity. To cultivate true happiness, we must focus on self-worth rather than external validation. By shifting our mindset, we can free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and lead more fulfilling lives. Stoicism helps us navigate life's storms with clarity and resilience. And if, in the end, our ship sinks, we can take comfort in knowing that we lived well, embracing the impermanence of all things.